Hello my beauties. So today has been a video that's been a long time coming, to be honest, as a psychedelic YouTuber. I now finally have my credentials fully sorted. You probably already figured it out from the title, but yes, I finally did DMT for, well, the second time. I first did DMT many years ago. You can find it on my channel, my first and only time of smoking DMT. I'm gonna have to change the title now because, yeah, finally did it again. I bloody done it again, like. So, yeah, that was many years ago when I first did that in 2016. And I had sort of the classic sort of DMT visuals. It lasted for about 15 minutes. It just really felt to me like the peak of an acid trip that lasted a short duration. This time, it was completely different. It couldn't have been more different. In fact, it's sort of awoken me to the idea that my whole relationship with psychedelics has fully changed now. I had absolutely zero visuals from this experience. Also, I've used some of my vlog footage from Solfest for the background in this video. If you want to actually catch the full vlog, of which there was like 20 minutes of footage or so, unfortunately, I ended up filming a lot of the acts in the dark, and a lot of the footage is just not feasible. So it's all just me just walking around absolutely chatting my head off, filming all my mates doing the weird, wacky and wonderful stuff that they always do. Absolute big ups to them. I literally love them so much. They're my family. We have such a good time. And Soulfest is just one of the very greatest festivals I've ever been to in my life. The vibes are unreal. The staff, the security, the music, the whole layout, the cultural aspect to it, the performing arts element. I went dressed as Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist, and the amount of people who came up to me who knew it, I was surprised how many Cumbrian weeaboos there are. Some woman came up to me and said that she did a master's on it. This other guy came up to me and he had like the tattoo on his forearm. So many people come up to me like, "Oh, you look like your Naruto, you lad," and they're like, nah, it's Fullmetal Alchemist, isn't it? And they're like, "Oh yes, lad, that is sick." Honestly, this is the perfect place to take psychedelics at, and you can tell a lot of people are on psychedelics because it just went hand in hand. There was absolutely zero anxiety the whole time being here, and I'm a pretty erratically minded person and can oftentimes just think too much into not even just being anxious about external things, just being anxious just about my mind and in general. And I can honestly say my DMT experience has fully unlocked my mind. It's actually crazy. I had zero visuals, like I say. It was, and to be honest, I was also consuming mushrooms, and I had some 2CB as well. I was mainly on a psychedelic mission, and pretty much zero visuals from all of them. It was just the conscious mental aspect. The main thing that came to me, the insight, was how my mind is constructing reality on the fly, like I'm doing just right, like how I'm doing right now. It really solidified that idea that consciousness is just one thing. I mean, I already knew this subconsciously from my experience of psychedelics over the years. I've always understood this non-dual approach to the universe conceptually until I've had like ego death experiences, mystical experiences, and just sort of like sober awakenings, you know, when you're just in the moment, when you're just having those numinous experiences. Say you're hiking up a mountain, you know, you're in nature, or you're just deeply in tune with the moment, doing anything, even just watching TV, and you just have that feeling of like, this is it, the present moment, this is consciousness, this is what I've willed into being, this dream. And it honestly is the most beautiful thing ever. For a very long time I was so resistant to this. When I found out sort of like my true nature as source, as energy, as consciousness, this infinite being, it was sometimes hard to deal with. There was obviously a lot of solipsistic resistance to it, because if a lot of people fear this like solipsism and being like, "Oh, I'm the only being in the universe," or "This must be terrible," but it really isn't. It's the very greatest, most perfect function of the universe. The consciousness in me is the consciousness in you. We are all the same thing, and it's absolutely magnificent. And any resistance you may feel towards this, all the pain and the suffering, is just a catalyst towards actually realizing even deeper. The very function, the very mechanism of pain is to direct us all back towards the singularity, the infinite singularity that is the Godhead. And that is exactly what we have done as Source. We've split ourselves, we've fragmented consciousness, It goes, you're either very close to the center, sort of saint-like, angelic, or you're a demonic, despicable monster that's further away from the center. But the beauty in the function of this, in the beauty and the function of the yin and yang, the chaos and the order, the good and the bad, is that it's all coming together slowly over time. Even the universe, even spiral galaxies orbiting around a supermassive black hole. What is gravity? It is literally the connection between two things merging back together, and over time the heat death of the universe, whatever you want to call it, where the universe collapses in itself and it becomes the Godhead, the singularity again, it will just split back out and experience itself forever. How beautiful is this? And in that moment, I realized that so deeply. I didn't need visuals. I didn't need a breakthrough. I didn't need to talk to entities, because I already knew this subconsciously. And that crystallized in my mind in that moment. And I feel so at peace. I've never been more at peace in my whole life. It's made me so aware of how deeply in tune I can be in the moment if I just let myself be. Because the thing is, the only thing getting in the way of you loving life is yourself. And I've realised that is it. I already realised this anyway, but now it has finally materialised, and I couldn't be more grateful for my friends, my family, my YouTube, myself, and I finally can love myself the way I've always wanted to. And the afterglow has been honestly unreal. My mate Keith came up to me and he was like, you can just literally see the DMT awakening in your eyes this whole time. I was just in awe. I felt like a child again. I was so content with everything, and I feel like I've finally gotten over this ket addiction that I've suffered with for just over a year now, where I've been searching for myself. I've been seeking myself when actually I was there the whole time. I'm having a weird sense of deja vu now as well. I feel like I've said this all before, and I sort of have, because consciousness is eternal. It's forever. It never ends, and it's the most beautiful thing ever. And I just know that every single time in my life now coming up, every time I experience pain, suffering, no matter how bad it gets, I know that every single time that it's just a catalyst for greater growth, to get deeper into life, deeper towards the Godhead, closer towards the center. And honestly, I could not have asked for a more therapeutic experience. What was so unbelievably beautiful about it as well was the sort of strange matrix level synchronicities that was leading up to it. Because when you go to festivals, you'll notice that sort of everyone has like different desires for what they want out of the festival. Some people want to be in the group at all times. Some people just want to go off with like their closer mates. Some people just want to do things by themselves. Everyone's got their own little agendas. An agenda in the most positive aspect, because everybody just wants something different out of life. That's the beauty in the subjectivity, the beauty in the separation. Obviously, the real deepest beauty is the eternal ultimate connection that lies at the center of the Godhead. But God is also separation as well. So you must love the thing is, sometimes psychonauts and myself get too obsessed with like ego deaths, mystical awakenings, when actually one of the deeper beauties that we forget is appreciating and loving who you are, the ego. Because there's bad egos, there's sort of like negative toxic egos, and then there's beautiful, positive, heartwarming egos that want to change the world and want to gift it with love, creativity and art. And I think one of the deep points of life, not just awakening to your true nature as consciousness, it's also awakening to the beauty and power of your ego and how you can change yourself and other people's lives through creativity, art and connection. And oh my god, yeah, all the synchronicities leading up to the event, me and my mate Charm Dog, we were listening to some tunes with the rest of the group, and we were like, nah, we need something a bit muckier now. So we went to the drum and bass tent, and I knew subconsciously that my other mate that I knew, who told me that he had DMT, was going to be there right at the front of the speaker. And we just walked there. There was no resistance at all from my ego being like, oh my god, my ego might die. I was completely, utterly up for anything in that moment. Obviously the mushies helped as well to sort of dampen the resistance, and I literally went straight up to him, walked over, we were chatting, having a good laugh, just whipped out the vape pen. I didn't even question it, he gave it to me, and I blasted it. Obviously could have had a bigger hit, but the hit I had was the hit I needed in that very moment. And what happened instead of visuals was a very, very interesting experience. It was like, as soon as I had as soon as I had the blast, reality just around me became so unbelievably weird. It just felt like every single person around me just became even more fucked. There was this guy, he was falling over like ridiculous amounts. He was clearly like off his head on MDMA, and then all these people around me just, it felt like I made everybody else even more psychedelic. And it's sort of, whilst everyone else was sort of like losing themselves and like stumbling over, I was just completely in tune, just sort of doing this energy work with my hands. I felt so, my movement was so smooth, there was absolutely no tension at all. I've never felt that level of flow with the universe, and it was absolutely amazing. And the more I let go in that moment and just felt the beauty of movement and what I'm experiencing, what I'm creating right now with consciousness, the more people sort of like gravitated around me, and they were sort of like holding me. It was really strange. This woman, every time this woman would sort of like put a hand on my shoulder, and obviously instead of me being like, oh my god, who is that, I just sort of looked around and I was like, hi, how we doing, you alright? And she was just loving it, and she just kept laughing and giggling. And then obviously with me acknowledging her, there was a bit of like sort of back to reality sort of tension that came back in. And then I just put my hand on her hand, and then and then I'd get back to dancing again, being in tune with the moment. And then again, as soon as I do that and let go, and there was absolutely zero thoughts, it was literally just pure awareness. As I do that, everything was sort of relaxed again, and it was just teaching me how my consciousness is manufacturing reality on the fly. And I have finally come to terms with that and accepted it and love, and I'm now able to love it for what it is, and I could not be happier. I love you guys, I love all my mates, my family. If they're listening to this, you're honestly the most beautiful people in the world. I could not ask for a better reality to live in right now, and I just want you all to know that everything is meant to be as it is. Reality is ultimate perfection, because what else would it be? You as consciousness are unlimited. Think about that for a second. What would you do as an unlimited being? You would create your life. You would create everything. Because why would you want to stop everything from existing? That would be evil, wouldn't it? To restrict, to control, to subjugate reality on an infinite scale would be the devil. And instead, God is the ultimate acceptor of everything. It will let everything exist because it knows that eventually it will all return to itself and become this infinite orgasmic cascade of beauty and love, which is the infinite field of the Godhead, which we will all return to and which we all came from. And it doesn't get more beautiful than that. Thank you for listening to my DMT infused ramble. If you'd like to see the full vlog, please go and check out my other channel, Vivec Warrior Poet. It's just literally all the videos I've been playing now, but with the audio. Honestly, we chat some serious shit, me and the gang. Could not ask for better mates. It's just honestly unreal. When we go to these festivals, the comedic splendor that we engage in is just unparalleled. It feels so good to finally be at peace. And I want to tell you guys that no matter what you're struggling with right now, no matter what you're seeking, no matter what you think you need out of reality, it's always there. It's always been there in you. It's just how you find it. Everybody's on a different path. Some people, some psychonauts, I do like to stress is that some people are chasing the ego death via the ego, and this is what can cause a lot of these catastrophic experiences that I talk about via the trip reports. Sometimes you don't even realize that you don't even need to kill the ego. Your ego is already beautiful as it is. Some people have already done. I think I am starting to understand the Alan Watts quote of, once you get the message, hang up the phone. I don't realistically think you should hang up the phone forever, but there is a period of your life where, and I feel like I'm in that right now, where I don't need to keep seeking these psychedelic trips. I don't need to keep tripping all the time, because a lot of people ask me, oh, how often do you trip, Vivec? And I say, just whenever the opportunity arises. I don't feel like I need to keep chasing these psychedelic states, because right now I'm in the ultimate psychedelic state, manufacturing the dream via consciousness. And yet, whether you believe whatever I'm saying, I could be completely wrong, but this is what feels like the truth to me. And whether it's the real truth or not, I honestly don't care, because now I'm finally at peace and I can just relax and enjoy life for what it is. And that's what I've always sought. Life unfiltered, unadulterated, the beauty of existence. Thank you guys so much. I should probably hit 100k this week or the week after, and that just is the most mind-blowing thing ever, and I've finally just realised that I can be proud of myself, and not be proud in an egoic way, be proud in a beautiful manner that really gets to the root of what I want to do with life, and that's just to exist and experience new things with no resistance and just pure, unfiltered awareness of what is, and that is love. Love is the substrate of reality, because if you were nothingness, which implies that there is absolutely nothing that can stop you from experiencing anything you wanted, what would you realistically create? You'd create love, because what else is there to do? Love is the most beautiful thing of all time, and I'm so very glad that I have an incredible amount of loving people to share that with. And the deepest beauty is that I am all them, and always have been, and always will be. I love you guys. Thank you so much for making this YouTube reality possible. Sayonara.